What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This is, of course, your host, Anthony Sain, here with my man, Paris Sharkey. Paris, what's going on, brother?
What it do, man? In the producing chair this week.
Can't wait, man. Yeah, it's going to be me and you this week. Kenny's out on business, taking care of big business. Big business, my boy Kenny Stubblefield will not be here this week. Me and Paris going to be holding it down for the Anthony Sain Show. Very excited to have you on, my brother. Man, a lot is going on since the last time we had a show. Tiger football, man. Things felt so much better last time we had a show, man. We get ready to take on Navy. I think we talked about how this could be a trap game, man. It definitely was that. They got trapped up, got that ass beat, man, by Navy. Their quarterback was going off. It's crazy because Navy is one of the military academies, and they got a dude on their team who has the most German Nazi name I've ever seen in my life. I can't remember what his name was, Heidenreich or something like that.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, but the quarterback was going crazy. I want to say he had 200 yards rushing.
Right, 200 rushing yards as a quarterback is crazy, bro. God, dog.
Memphis lost their game, had opportunities to win, had an opportunity to win, with the ball in their hands. I'm going to tell you, man, I missed a lot of that game. I was listening on the radio, and there was a sequence where the Tigers were down, I want to say 14. And they had a goal. They were like in the red zone, and they got stopped. And instead of kicking the field goal, they went for it and failed. Right.
I think you're talking about early. I think it was early in the fourth quarter.
Early in the fourth, yeah. Early in the fourth.
Down by 11. Yeah. It was before he had that long 90-yard touchdown, I believe.
But if you had took that field goal, I know this is hindsight, but if you had taken that field goal, that drive where you were down on like the 18-yard line, you could have kicked the field goal and won the game. Like, I know that's real hindsight because you're down 2 touchdowns 9 minutes ago.
And they also missed the 2 point. They also missed that 2-point conversion too.
Man, it's a weird, ugly game. The Tigers lose that game. People are still saying the Tigers do have a chance to get into the college football playoffs. When going undefeated would pretty much put the ball in your hands. The ball's no longer in your hands. You don't really control your own destiny at this point. But there are chances that the Tigers can still get in the college football playoffs. And it's so crazy, man, because that news combined with the news from yesterday, a couple of days ago, that the Memphis declined their invite to the Pac-12. I think if Memphis had won that football game, people would have not been so ho-hum about it. Because the fact they lost that game, now it's like, okay, we can't even win in this crap conference. We got to get out of here. And I'm going to say this, man. I don't understand much about this Pac-12 situation. But the things I do understand that there are a lot of things pending as far as the TV deal between the Pac-12 and the major networks, right? And I understand that the buyout for the AAC is around $25 million, which the Pac-12, the Pac-2, the Tupac was only willing to pay $2.5 million of that deal. So in essence, the Tigers would have been paying $22.5 million to the broke-ass, poverty-ass AAC, right? And this is also a conference that has been rejected by several teams since this has happened. And now they're talking about lawsuits between Pac-12 and the Mountain West Conference. I'm like, man, this just seems like something Memphis didn't need to be a part of. And it's like, I understand. Yeah, people say, well, man, they got Gonzaga. They're going to have Gonzaga. I'm like, bro,
it's not official yet. Yeah.
Right. It's playing Gonzaga twice a year worth $25 million, to pay. And I just think that there's better opportunities that could possibly be out there. I don't think we just moving too thirsty, man. Fans are just moving super thirsty, like super emotional when it comes down to this. Yeah. Because my thing is, people are saying, it's a better football conference. These 2 teams that are left in the Pac-12 are the last 2 teams that were left in the Pac-12 after everybody else is gone. Like, these aren't just exciting names, bro. These are like, this is Washington State and Oregon State. I mean, like, come on, bro. Like, are those better games in your schedule? Sure. But is it that much better?
Yeah, it's not that much.
Transition where I can say, hey, today I'm in the AAC. Now I'm in this, newly created Pac-12. Sure. But I'm not, but spending the kind of money you have to do, plus the expenses it would take just to travel to those games, that's a major financial burden, especially when there's a big hole inside the Liberty Bowl that we still got to pay for. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just think it's kind of crazy. I think fans are just getting a little too emotional about it.
I had to wear my information exchange shirt.
Yeah,
because I wasn't as crazy. Like, so when it happened yesterday, it was like, well, it is what it is. I'm trying to understand the money aspect, but on the other end, you like, dang, bro, we had to play. We still got to play Charlotte. And North Texas, and all these teams. And then I actually see Hitman Hoops last tweet about the $2 million where we owe ASC. I knew we owe ASC 25. Then he said they only offer $2 million. And then I think the TV deal that they was looking at will only generate 10 to 15 mil. And right now we make 7 to 9 mil. So I'm like, all right, ain't that big difference, right? And also, ASC has ESPN, Pac-12 have their own network, so we wouldn't even be able to have their free access to watching Memphis anymore if they join the Pac-12 as well. So I'm straight those things. Yeah, it's like, I understand, and plus it wasn't only Memphis, Tulane, UTSA, and South Florida all.
We all was like, nah, we straight,
we good. So I was like, yeah, they all in cohesion. I'm like, hey, it makes sense.
Yeah, this doesn't seem stable. This whole Pac-12 thing doesn't seem stable at all. I'm not mad at it, man. And here's the thing. If you're going to a situation where competition-wise, there's going to be an increase, like you're not going to be, if you're going to that conference, you're not going to be one of the top football schools or basketball schools, really. Yeah. If you're going to a league where you're not the big dog anymore and you're going over there to play, there better be a recruitment upgrade. Yeah. But it's going to be a recruitment probably downgrade. Because you got to get a lot of you're playing against West Coast schools a lot.
Yeah, West Coast
so
teams.
It's like people go like, no, like don't go there. Like, you know what I mean? And you're not gonna be the big dog. So I get some of the arguments people have, but I just think it's just super emotionally driven. And it's not a recruiting upgrade. Because I think now you can say, hey, we're in this terrible conference. We could very well go undefeated, be a one-loss team, be in the hunt for the college football playoff. We go to this Pac-12 thing, you can't sit that recruiting edge is gone. Like, I don't think you can do that at all. So
and another thing, we haven't even won the AAC yet. Or we haven't won it since 2019. Like let's actually dominate. Let's go ahead and actually dominate the conference first.
And I think if you're a team that's dominating your conference like that, it kind of push you in the hunt regardless, as far as like when some expansion happens. And I think some expansion is probably going to come one day. And one thing I'll say, man, Ed Scott is not a dumb dude. I'm riding with him. He's very smart. Yeah. He's a negotiator. He's I don't think he's not going to do anything that's silly for this university. And I think that I trust him, man. I trust that he's going to do what's best for this program. I know people are upset about it. Some people are just being weird about it. To me, it's just doing a little bit too much, moving a little bit too thirsty. Everybody wants to be in a better conference, but you shouldn't have to pay for a better deal, man. If somebody, like I heard people saying, if somebody invites you to dinner, I shouldn't have to pay for the dinner. You know what I mean? That doesn't sound too good to me.
We ain't trying to be like SMU who gave SMU paid a lot and gave away a lot to join the ACC, the media rights deal or something. I think they. But I'm saying like that's a lot, and I'm like I ain't trying to be like SMU and just like it ain't that crucial.
But if I'm Memphis, if the ACC, Big 12, whoever calls, I would do that to get into a Power 5. Like I know
as long as those teams are in there. I don't want to go in there, and I ain't trying to pay money and Clemson and Florida State and North Carolina leave. Yeah.
So, man, we got to see how this shit gonna shake out, bro. We're gonna see how this shit gonna shake out, man. I think it'll be all right. I think we'll be in a better conference soon. Brace yourselves, man. Be patient, man. Everything gonna be all right. It's kind of like this, man. I'm gonna tell you an event that I've never gone to, but I salute the people that go to it. It's called Dinner en Blanc, right? Right. It's this event where everybody wears white. You don't know where the event is going to be. You have to bring your own food to this. It's basically like a really fancy picnic. You got to bring your own food. You got to bring your own table. So you and all your friends come. Y'all have this nice dinner, but you pay to go there. You don't know where it's going to be. You bring your own food. Sense. You bring your own table. Me personally, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to that. Right.
Right.
That's what this Pac-12 invite feels like. Like, no, man, I'm good. I'm not paying you and then bringing my own food and bringing my own table and wearing all white outside. I'm not doing all
right.
That. Sorry.
That makes sense at all.
So Memphis, go dominate this conference, football, basketball. Do that, and the call up is coming, big dog. You ain't in much different of a pool as being in the Pac-2, which is still struggling to get teams. And like I said, I'm not trying to pay $25 million a year to play Gonzaga twice. Like I don't. I mean, how much bigger of a program is Gonzaga than Houston was a few years ago in the AAC?
Right. I mean, you about the same.
Yeah. So I'm good. But I tell you what, bro, there's a lot of stuff going on. Derrick Rose has been waived by the Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to talk to the best man in Memphis to talk about that with Damichael Cole. That's coming on next in the show, actually. But before we do that, man, 901 Wrestling, we had our first show in Minglewood Hall. this past Sunday. It was off the chain. Go to the website, 901wrestling.com. Our next show, October the 20th, is going to be off the chain. The 901 Classic tournament is starting on that date. Kids still getting free. You get a free kid, or you get a free kid in the building with every ticket purchase. What that means basically is, even if you're buying, if you got 3 kids, if it's you coming with 3 kids, 2 of your kids are getting in free. It's not like you have to have another adult to get a kid in free. So every other kid basically is free. So youth groups, large groups thinking about that type of stuff, kids 12 and under. Like I said, it was a great event. All the champions kept their belts, man. None of the champions lost. It was a good card, and it was a great night at Minglewood Hall. And I got a little preview of the main event for the next show, man. I ain't gonna talk to y'all about it. But just look forward to more 901 wrestling stuff here on Anthony Sain Show. We're about to take a break. When we come back, Damichael Cole is going to talk about Derrick Rose being waived from the Memphis Grizzlies and how it's going to impact the rest of the season and more. We'll see you guys in a minute.
One of the defining factors of a good, well-coached defense is rallying to the ball, and it's something you hear from Pee-wee football all the way up until the NFL. And that's what this defense does. Their pursuit is really, really phenomenal. Having a centerpiece like Chandler Martin, who is just every week looks like he continues to get better. He's what makes this defense go, and everybody kind of rallies behind him.
12 TFLs against Florida State.
Yep.
4 sacks, brother. Get the out of here. I said, bring some 5-man, 6-man, 7-man pressures. I didn't think they'd do it like that, dog. Yeah. You got to that fourth quarter, and Jordan said, I have no respect for these guys.
No,
we're better than you.
And we're not scared.
He just brought 6-man pressure after 6-man pressure, then a 7-man pressure, then a simulated 8-man pressure. It's like this guy is a psychopath in the best possible way.
Tune into On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
The Tigers football team.
Hey, how about that win over Florida State? You don't want to be a part of us? We don't want you. We don't need you, Mikey. We don't need you.
Best part of it was they just went in and beat them. They were the better team. It wasn't a fluke. Nothing. They were the better team for 60 minutes and walked away with a dub in Tallahassee. It was impressive.
You know what they should have played? Doom, doom, doom. They just could have played. They could have whooped that. That's how you do it.
It was impressive. So shout out to the Memphis Tigers.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. We got my guy in the building, man. My man, Damichael Cole, joins us. He, of course, covers the Memphis Grizzlies for the Commercial Appeal. Also hear him from Locked On Grizz, him and my guy, Joe Mullinax. He joins us now. Damichael Cole, what's going on, my guy?
What's going on, brother? Not too much. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Got to have you on, man, with the news that happened on Monday, man, that Derrick Rose was waived by the Memphis Grizzlies. You put out a kind of a cryptic tweet, like it had a little something loaded to it, man. I said, look at my guy, man. Got me stressing out over here about my guy, Derrick Rose. I already got to deal with D Rose being waived, and this man added a little extra to it. Yeah. And you know me, man. I am a Grizz conspiratist when it comes down to Marcus Smart. So here I am trying to put 2 and 2 together. And, of course, you are the official voice of Scottie Pippen Jr. For the Memphis
I knew it was coming.
I have to ask you this before we get started, Michael. Yeah. How is it possible, with you being the literal voice of Scottie Pippen Jr., you had a Scottie Pippen Jr. article in the cut, ready for somebody else to get waived? Your article said, the Grizzlies now have an open roster spot. It's time for Scottie Pippen Jr. Like, you just wrote that article about a month ago when we waived the Diakite. Oh, man, no. But how is it possible, Damichael Cole?
Yeah. See,
hold on. Would you be the official voice was Scottie Pippen Jr. And Keith Parrish actually had Scottie Pippen on his show before you, bro. How is it possible?
Yeah. I saw that.
How did you feel, man, when you saw that?
I saw that. I mean, you win some, you lose some. It's the name of the game. It's the name of the game.
Shout out to my man Keith Parrish.
Yeah, shout out to Keith Parrish. But
man. Of course, the news was that Scottie Pippen, not Scottie Pippen. So you got Scottie Pippen on my brain. Yeah, Derrick Rose was waived by the Memphis Grizzlies. You put out a tweet at that point saying it looks like the Grizzlies will be looking for another backup point guard, which got me confused because I've always stood on, for several reasons, even though he's not the best option at backup point guard. That's not one of his main things as far as Marcus Smart is concerned. But my thing is, if you're trying to optimize minutes with him, you want to get him some minutes on the ball so you won't be pulling wing minutes from the Vince Williams, the Gigi Jacksons when they come back, et cetera. So what are your thoughts? Just let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Just the immediate headline of Derrick Rose waived from the Grizzlies. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, the timing is the first thing that comes to mind with the Derrick Rose decision, right? It's a little bit about a week before camp. Yeah. And then, of course, we find out, as I reported, as some other people reported as well, just the fact that it was a buyout. The initial language, I think, put out by Shams wasn't wrong technically, but it was a little murky. Like, at the end of the day, Derrick Rose went to the Grizzlies, and it was more of his decision. It wasn't the Grizzlies' decision. It wasn't like the Grizzlies were unpleased with anything Derrick Rose was doing on the floor, and they were like, "Look, we got to get rid of him, man. He can't play." So that was the tweet, that everybody kept referencing. And what is Damichael saying? It was more so just pointing out the fact that this wasn't the Grizzlies saying, "Hey, kick Derrick Rose to the curb. He's no good." And now expanding on that, getting more to the on the floor part of it. I don't think everybody come to terms with it, but Derrick Rose was going to be the backup point guard at the start of the season. It wasn't going to be Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is the Grizzlies like him in that off-ball role where he's played decently. Was kind of you get 2 for 1, right? You get the wing guy and you can bring him, in the game to play backup point guard without Ja Morant. But Derrick Rose, when he was healthy, he played fine. He just wasn't healthy a lot. Like his body, kind of was breaking down over the course of the season. I think he never played more than 5 games at a time before certain injuries, hamstrings, and things like that popped up for him. So with all that being said, like, I believe Derrick Rose, if you say, if he's still on the roster game 1 in Utah, who's going to be the guy tapping Ja's hand as Ja Morant comes out of the game? It's going to be Derrick Rose. I wholeheartedly believe that to be the case. And now, that brought to the point where when I sent out the post on X about the idea that the Grizzlies will need to address the backup point guard spot, it's kind of obvious, for one, because you lose a backup point guard and you technically, you don't have a traditional backup point guard on your 15-man roster right now. You got Marcus Smart, who's your starting wing. You got Desmond Bane, who's a starting wing, who are capable of playing those positions. And you got Scottie Pippen Jr. on a 2-way deal. That'll probably, again, Scottie Pippen Jr. thing doesn't have to be addressed right now. Of course, they will at some point, but it doesn't have to be addressed right now. So you have 2 open roster spots to go out and explore, potential backup bigs, potential backup point guards. I don't think they're going to address I don't think they're going to address those roster spots with like a wing. I think those 2 needs are very clear. So I think they're going to search for backup point guard and anything, but I don't think it's something that's just, Derrick Rose is gone. All right, let's go get this guy. It's not that simple because of the fact that Derrick Rose, he's pretty much, hey, I want to be bought out the contract. They didn't expect that. So with that being the case, the Grizzlies have to kind of pivot on their feet as well.
Oh man, you really, I don't mind standing corrected, but I'm standing corrected now. Like, I had no clue that the Grizzlies were planning on, and I know you know better than me, you know what I mean? So I always assumed that Marcus Smart was going to play minutes at backup point guard. And it seems like with the way that things are going down from what you're saying, that never was the plan. Their plan was for Derrick Rose to be the backup point guard, which I ain't gonna lie, bro. Shout out to you, Derrick Rose, for retiring. If that's the case. But if that's the case, if you're retiring, if that's the case. But Also, with that being said, something else that I picked up on is you have to find the way the Grizzlies went about it commendable, because they could have just said, hey, man, if you want to retire, retire. But the way that they did it by waiving and buying him out, because if he retired, he would have thrown that money away. Am I correct? Like that money just would have been, it would disappear.
If he retires, that's if he doesn't go somewhere else or whatever the case may be.
But the way the Grizzlies did it, if he does retire, he does have his money. He's okay. So, yeah, I think it's pretty commendable. I'm assuming that Derrick Rose is about to retire. These aren't, your words. This is me assuming he's about to retire. I can't see a team seeing value in him on the court. I don't know. I might totally be wrong. But
and there is reason to believe that too, because I've talked to Derrick Rose about it, and he's told me that his plan is not to leave Memphis. So take that for what it's worth. Okay. Not recently, but months ago when we were just talking about post-career, what's next.
Right. Because the boys have all been in town hooping, and we haven't heard anything about Derrick Rose playing with the team.
But that's not his thing either. He's not a 5-on-5 in the summer guy. Like he did it last summer with them, but it wasn't more so like, let me play 5-on-5 with my new team. It was more so like y'all know I usually don't do this, but since we get to know each other, I'll do it. But with the Knicks, they know, we're playing 5-on-5. Oh, Derrick Rose is not about to do that.
I'll see y'all mid-October.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see y'all when camp opens up. But there's reason to believe that as well, because again, I wrote that story, I think like last December, when he basically said, look, he didn't buy a house in New York. He didn't buy a house in Detroit. He didn't buy a house in Minnesota. He bought a house in Memphis. His son is playing, his oldest son, playing basketball here now.
Yep.
And they've kind of
his baby mamas. They both here.
Yeah, his wife, but then he's established, man. He's established, and when you factor all that in, it is reason to believe that that's the next step for him.
Yeah, it feels retirement-ish if that's the case. And we saw him out playing golf with Tony Allen. I wonder what that conversation was like. I wonder what some of the things, two Chicago guys having a conversation. Camp getting ready to start. TA, about to get his jersey retired. We'll talk about that later. But I'm sure that conversation was like, yeah, bro, you had a good run, man. Go on, sit it down. Go on, sit it down, killer. I'm sure that came out Tony.
Yeah, that sounds like Tia right there.
Came out Tony Allen's mouth for sure. Just kind of staying there for a minute with the whole Derrick Rose thing.
Yeah.
We talked about Scottie Pippen Jr. We talked about Marcus Smart. What do you think the chances are of someone else coming in to be either the backup point guard or an emergency point guard on this roster?
Oh, strong chances for sure. They're gonna get someone else. I don't know when that'll be. But it's gonna have to be addressed. Like as of right now, you can go into the season. Like they don't have to address it right now. They can go into the season with Marcus Smart and Scottie Pippen Jr. Playing a decent amount of those minutes. And then if one of those guys aren't available, you can move Desmond Bane on the ball a little bit more, which you don't want to do. But you have that option because he has that experience. So it's not like, they have no options now, and like they got options. And they got some good options, with that being the case. But at the same time, I mean, it's obvious, right? Like you look at they got more wings than Popeyes. Like they got all these bigs, different types of bigs. Zach Edey, Jay Huff, Santi, Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson Jr. But if you look at point guard, there needs to be a little bit more variety there. There's still some decent players who are unsigned. I know a lot of people throw the name Markelle Fultz out there. That's going to be a popular name around here probably until something's done with him in his NBA career, because a lot of people just can't understand, why he's unsigned right now. But then, when trading season starts to pick up, you get to around mid-December and you really got a good gouge on, Scottie Pippen Jr. can hold it down. Or you're like, Scottie played good when he was playing with, like the backups of the backups, but
he
ain't looking the same again with the same players. And then
giving it the full effort.
Exactly. So and then Marcus Smart case too. Like I think I've said it and you said it in probably some different words, but like to me, when you look at Marcus Smart off the ball, the numbers were way better than when he was on the ball. But we saw him more on the ball, and early on in the season, when the Grizzlies started 1-8 and whatever the case may be, is when he was playing on the ball and they just weren't generating good shots. And he wasn't generating good shots for himself. But when he was off the ball, it was spot up 3-point shots, easier shots. That's when he had the 20-plus point game against the Lakers, and he had the good performance against the Pelicans. And, when he was playing off the ball, it flowed much easier for him. But the one thing that I keep going back to, Derrick Rose used to say this too. Marcus Smart was saying it at the beginning of the season. They didn't really get to play a lot with those guys. Like Marcus Smart was dealing with an abdominal injury in the preseason. Mm-hmm. And when I say didn't get to play with these guys, we're talking about like Marcus Smart didn't get to learn, you know what? Jaren Jackson Jr. is not going to roll hard to the basket that much. So, learn how to pick up off his game, off of screens and things like that. And learning where, Dez likes the ball over here. Luke likes the ball over here. Luke likes to shoot here. Like a point guard's job. And they didn't really get a lot of time to do that. So, if you want to, play to the opposite tune with Marcus Smart, like if you're someone like me, we saw in Boston, the on the ball thing it's really not his thing. He's steady, but he's not going to take you to the championship level. But if you want to say, DeMichael, I disagree with you, you can say the fact that he didn't get a lot of time to learn these guys' games.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. I would like to see how that looks in camp. I don't think they're going to bring another guy in, just being honest, because like I said, they
got 2 open roster spots. So.
Yeah, but it's like if you sign a guy like Markelle Fultz, right? And you sign like a 1 year, 2 year deal, whatever, and Scottie Pippen Jr. is actually good, or Marcus Smart works, it's just another guy that on your roster is just kind of there for nothing. You know what I mean? So, because I think we're talking about backup point guard when your star point guard is Ja Morant. Your starting is Ja Morant. And if he's a guy who's playing 32, 34 minutes a game, you're talking about 18 minutes max that backup point guard is going to play. So I don't really think it's really that crucial. But, people have different opinions on that. Were you here in 2000? You were here in 2019, right? The year, the pandemic year, the year the shut. I mean,
I wasn't
1920.
Yeah. I wasn't covering the team then. I was in Philly then, but yeah.
Who the hell was covering the team then?
I think either David Cobb or Evan.
Yeah,
Amari was here though.
Amari was here, but Amari's actually
athletic. Yeah, right. It was Evan.
You don't know nothing about this then. You don't know nothing about this. We played Orlando that final game of the year, right? Mm-hmm. And final game before they shut everything down. And there was some dude there that was asking all these Markelle Fultz questions. I was like, bro, if we sign Markelle Fultz, please don't let that dude be coming. This guy was trying to put a masterpiece Markelle Fultz article together, But what are your thoughts on the time of Derrick Rose here? Not really on the court, but something that he was brought here to do was to be kind of a mentor for a job, or just a mentor for the young guys. We've heard Scottie Pippen speak on some of those things. Yeah. We've seen, Ja kind of speak on those things. Yeah. That's something that's kind of hard to measure. What are your thoughts on his time here as far as that mentor, big brother type player for the guys on the team?
Well, I'll put it like this. Those dudes learned a lot from Derrick Rose. Like, I mean, I can't count on my hands, both hands. I cannot count on both my hands how many times players would bring up Derrick Rose's name to me without me even saying Derrick Rose's name. I just say the word veteran or something. And man, Derrick Rose, like, guys would just talk glowingly about how much, and it was the way he went about it. Derrick Rose isn't real rah-rah. He's not going to come up in your face and, like, that's not his style. It just, he prides himself on things happening, organically. Like when everyone kind of, in a way, I wouldn't say was forcing the Ja Morant Derrick Rose relationship, but everyone wanted to see it. Everyone wanted to see it kind of take shape because of the comparisons, the games and all that. And Derrick Rose was more like, I'm not like, this isn't how he said it, but it was more like, I'm not about to go in this dude's face and just, hey, I'm Derrick Rose. Like, it's going to happen how it's supposed to happen. Yeah. And then next thing you know, Derrick Rose's son is on the plane like, Dad, I want to play for Ja Morant's AAU team. And that's how you get that organic relationship that he's on. Because now you're bringing him to Ja's AAU events. You're asking Ja, hey, Ja, you got a spot for my son? Ja's like, of course, it's Derrick Rose's son. And now Derrick Rose is going on the road to the games, right? It's Carolina, Georgia. Now they're spending time out there. And it's created a real organic relationship to where Ja now, when Ja mentions veterans and stuff like that, Derrick Rose is one of the first names that comes up from an impact standpoint. So job well done overall. Personally, I feel like this was the year to really see some of that stuff through through games, right? Like when Ja has a 38-point game one night, and then the next game he probably, gets a technical foul, is a little frustrated, and you got Derrick Rose over there, the shoulder to lean on to kind of get you back into the flow of things. Like, we never saw that side of it. So in a way it feels incomplete, but at the same time, I think that year that Ja got to see, Derrick Rose operate, and then going forward, like their relationship, even though Derrick Rose is not, I know it was funny, I didn't, because I got off of X when I made that post, so I didn't see like what happened right after that till everybody started texting me, and it's funny to see people like, oh, it's Derrick Rose joining the coaching staff or things like that.
Yeah, and
I mean, I wouldn't say that to be the case, but at the same time, like if you want to think like that, I don't think it's far fetched to say Derrick Rose won't be around the Grizzlies, a lot going forward if he's not going to another team. Like he's probably going to be around the Grizzlies and therefore be around Ja Morant.
So I'm calling retirement. I'm calling the Derrick Rose retirement. I'm not going to put them words in your mouth. It kind of seems like that's what you're saying too. Like he's not looking to go to another team. That he's looking to be here. And that being said, the Grizzlies over the years have had some very quote unquote creative positions they've made to kind of keep guys around. It's kind of liaisons or whatever they are. So we both kind of feel like this. That's my hope, man, because Derrick Rose in my city and connected to these teams, especially if he can get in with Penny and do some things as well. I just think that would be a tremendous asset to the city, man. So
yeah, it'd be great. Like if it is the info, it'd be great to like have him here to, be one of those type of people, right? Be an advocate for Memphis, be an advocate for the, like now he's the University of Memphis in his relationship.
Yeah,
continues to develop. We know how Penny is about, some of those old players coming back and things like that. Now you kind of continue to grow that relationship. Then you continue to grow the fact that he's going to know all these Grizzlies guys. And, guess what? His son, VJ, is still going to want to go to some Grizzlies games if he's staying in Memphis like that.
Yeah.
Go to the Grizzlies game. And Derrick Rose, he one call, that's all. He can make that call.
Yeah.
And they'll be sitting courtside or in a suite somewhere if he wants to blend in or wherever the case may be. But, if he's not going anywhere else, I do not think Derrick Rose will leave the city of Memphis.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with it. Well, man, Damichael, I'm gonna let you roll, bro. I know you're a busy man. Had to get you in to talk about this Derrick Rose stuff, man. The next time we talk, media day will be over. We'll be talking preseason basketball here with the Memphis Grizzlies again. Well, Damichael Cole, appreciate you, bro. We're about to take a break. When we come back, it's gonna be more to Enter the Sain show. See you guys in a minute.
I think Jabari Smith Jr., and I don't want this to be true, but I almost feel maybe Tobias Harris, yo.
What's wrong with Tobias Harris? We've had this discussion. All the guy does is give you a double-double, 20 and 10.
Bro.
That's it. That's it. Every night.
Who?
Tobias Harris.
Stop that. Tobias Harris gives you a double-double 8 times a year. Stop that.
What?
He gives you
8 times a year.
Look, I'm a fan. And this is what I'm saying because I continue to be like, he's a dude that's he's a tease. It's a tease. It's like, God, dog, he's sexy. But it just won't work. Like he should be, but it's there, but it's just when the games, it's just consistently. I don't know if it's you need more people to believe in it, something, but I don't want, and also just to get lost in the rest in that Houston team.
Tune in to the Night Court podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I've said it. I just think you need to ask more questions before jumping in there. Who's coming with me? What's my TV money payout? Am I, is it going to offset my travel costs?
Yep.
That's but I think the biggest issue you have, right? And I think all of us will agree on this. If you can get out of the AAC, you do it by any means necessary.
Yeah. You're 100% right. Get out. And have you seen like these lame duck responses or people are like, if Memphis sells out and goes into the Pac-12, then I'm done. And it's like, what are you talking?
What are you talking about?
What the
I've
hell
seen,
are you
like-
talking about?
I've seen
do you want the athletic department to just keep operating at a deficit in
Right.
this shitty ass conference?
And the reasons that I keep saying is, well, it's all these these West Coast teams. Are we really going to go to the West Coast every week? And it's like, yeah, if that's what they have to do, 100%.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Here, my man Parrish Shockey. Time for the three-pointer. And Parrish, of course, bro. As soon as we wrap up our interview with Damichael Cole, Tim McMahon comes in and he drops news saying something I'm super confused about, because what he's saying really doesn't make any sense. The reports yesterday about Derrick Rose said that Derrick Rose's contract was bought out by the Memphis Grizzlies. Tim McMahon is saying that that Derrick Rose was waived and that the Grizzlies are not on the hook as far as his salary. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Because if you waive somebody, you are on the hook for their salary. Like, that's just what that is. It's by definition is what that means. So unless he's saying, it sounds like he's trying to say that Derrick Rose is retiring, because if he retires, then his salary disappears. Because that's the only time, if I'm not mistaken, I think if you say I'm retiring from the game, whatever's left on your contract is null and void.
Right, yeah.
Maybe he's not aware that he was bought out. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. What he's saying doesn't make any sense, though. Like, Damichael Cole, Drew Hill are both saying he was bought out. That's been reported several places he's been bought. So I don't know. I'm not saying that Tim is wrong. I just think he's telling a kind of a. I think he's wrong. I don't think he's saying it's right.
I'm gonna tend to trust the beat writers of the team on this.
Exactly.
But.
I don't think that's right. I don't think. And then I saw Chris Harrington saying he's doing cap numbers with the Grizzlies being off the hook for his salary.
I would say this.
Even if you buy a guy out, that money still counts against the cap, though, right? I don't know.
Now, I thought so, but I guess I'll tell you this: I haven't seen Grizzlies PR post about it, so I'll just wait for them.
Yeah, these guys know they'll throw the local dudes under the bus with one of these national dudes. People, bro. That shit is crazy, bro. Tim McMahon said something. Now everybody acting like Damichael and Drew don't know what they're talking about.
Does it at the end of the day? Does it really matter? Like, it was 1 year left.
That's the exact thing I was talking about last show with this Woj coach and stuff. Like, bro, whatever, bro. Like,
it's only $3 million for 1 year. Okay, exactly. You're on the hook for that. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, man. But it's time for the three-pointer. We talked about three things going on in the world of sports. Biggest news of the day: Tony Allen, his jersey retirement will happen on March the 15th. Against the Miami Heat, your guys, the Miami Heat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, Jimmy Butler in game. Yep.
Yeah. That game's gonna happen. Tony Allen's number 9 will be in the Raptors, man. Besides Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol, we'll get the game back together. Mike Conley does not have a game on the night.
I saw you post that tweet.
Right, he has the game before and after. Both games are at home, I believe. Both games are in Minnesota.
I remember this past season he had a similar scenario. I think the game the next night wasn't even Minnesota. It was somewhere else. It was on the West Coast. So
right. So I'll expect Mike to be there. I'm sure their planning for their game was based around what Mike probably can do. Tony Allen, a guy who other teams may not get it, but we get it here. You know, why TA got his jersey retired, right? Probably one of the greatest defenders of all time. A guy who just was the embodiment of that grit grind era culture. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just a guy who, he named it. You know what I mean? Just a guy who just worked hard, had injuries that set him back. Tony Allen came into the league as a very athletic scorer type guy. Yeah. That early knee injury pretty much derailed that. He just adapted his game, became a high-level defender. Still comes on Chris Verner's show, still appealing to the community. Has that dope show with him and Zebo that's supposed to be coming soon. I can't wait till that start, till those come out. But yeah, man, Tony's gonna get his number retired. Here, he had a little setback with all the court stuff. You know what I mean? The dental scam stuff he was a part of, insurance.
He beat the charges, though. He beat the charges,
man. Beat the charges. Yeah. So Tony Allen's number will be retired, man. It's good for him. Good for him. But this kind of speaks to a time where we were the rehab city when it comes down to getting players and just kind of throwing love on them, man. Them just becoming a totally different player here than they were anywhere else. And whether that's Zebo, Tony, several guys, during their era. And good to see, Tony Allen. That announcement, the official announcement coming out. My boy Mike Blevin's gonna put together a cold video.
Oh boy, I can't wait. We already seen little clips over the summer.
And speaking of that, man, this isn't part of the 3-pointer, but we totally forgot about this. The Grizzlies did drop the white Vancouver jerseys since the last time.
Last time we talked about it,
Man, them joints clean, bro, clean. That's why I tell people like that. Pick those pictures of that Sounds jersey. They're pretty. Everything but confirmed. Woo. Those pictures don't do justice. The actual pictures of the jerseys on the players, stitching the quality. That's when you're gonna be able to tell. I think that Sound jersey is gonna be nasty. I think it's gonna be nasty.
Bro. It looked better than the last ones because they had to add the extra.
Yeah, y'all lost y'all mind if you don't think Ja Morant is gonna have a top 5 jersey in the NBA. I'm about to say number 1, bro.
I would say top. Yeah, I think it was Michael said top 3. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Cause that joint is hard. That white game Vancouver is one of the that shit sells anyway, regardless of what team. I mean, the white baby will still be selling. You know what I mean? So
with them reverse scratches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who was that? Somebody, I forgot who posted it. Maybe it was Chris or somebody. They posted the clip of that dude who dressed up with the Michael Jordan full.
Yeah,
the Michael Jordan bull shirt.
Yeah, we had the whole. Hey, bro, what happened to the short sets, bro? Because somebody got to bring his short sets back, bro. When I worked in the mall in Memphis in high school, bro, the short sets was in, bro. You saw kind of good short set these days. Man. Now switching to the other league, man, the WNBA awards. Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year unanimously. Y'all get on my face about it was never a question. There was a time where Angel Reese was on her ass
before, back in May and June, right before the Olympic break.
Clicked in and really started going crazy scoring and put crazy scoring numbers up, which I said was going to happen. I was like, it's close now, but Caitlin's going to warm up and stretch this out. Because there was a time where Caitlin Clark was not looking like how she looked now. Looking like she was kind of adjusting to the league.
Now scoring-wise.
Scoring-wise, yeah. But she's definitely adjusted to the league. Shout out to her. And she's going to be in the MVP talks very soon. In my opinion, like legit MVP talk, because she found it.
She finished 4th in this year, so next year she's gonna be.
She'll probably be first all NBA WNBA first team as well. MVP race. Asia Wilson won the award. She won the unanimously as well. Dominating the league. Want to say she set the record for most points in the season this year as well.
And rebounds.
Asia. No, she got rebounds too.
Yep. And so Angel Reese got hurt the last 2 weeks of the season, and Angel Wilson caught her.
Man.
She caught her.
Yeah, man. So
and she came close in blocks. I think she had just missed it, but she led the league in blocks, points, and assists. I mean, not assists, rebounds.
Who game would you compare Asia Wilson to on the guys' side?
NBA rise.
Because I've heard people say Anthony Davis. She kind of reminds me of KG.
I almost thought Anthony Davis, but that mid-range jumper, I'm trying to think who has the mid-range jumper that shoots like that. Because Anthony Davis ain't got that jumper, not the mid-range jumper the way she shoots. But defensively, Anthony Davis for sure. Offensively, yeah.
Asia Cole is here.
Like he had a jumper, but it wasn't like automatic. Like when she pulled up mid-range, it's like, I know that you're going in. I'm trying to think who has the jumper like that. It's like I guess, like you said, Kevin Garnett's a good one because he had that game he could just pull up on you in the mid-range. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kevin Garnett's good.
I'm going to say this to y'all now. Go ahead and crown my aces, man. It's the champions, bro. Go ahead and crown them, bro.
Hey, see, they got we'll see. 3 times, I think
bro. 3 times.
And every night, 3 MVPs, 3 championships. She comes to the crown.
Man, they finna bust some ass. They play again. By the time you're watching this, you'll know they play the Storm again tonight. Game 2. The Aces up 1-0. And we'll see how that turns out tonight or tomorrow.
Hey, I tell you who game her game. I tell you who game her game don't compare to her boyfriend. That they try to have a relationship over.
Yeah. And speaking of WNBA relationships, man, Angel Reese, you gotta stop playing, man. You gotta stop playing with me. She gets on Twitter, man, and she says, "I'm single."
She says she's single.
But if I'm with somebody, he's got to be taller than 6'7" and in the NBA. Come on, man. We know you and Jalen doing the dating, bro. Like, stop.
Right? Did you just?
I want to put a little pressure on my boy Dory. Like, hey, man, I'm single now. I'm telling you, I'm single.
You go ahead and
you ain't finna hide me. I'm a baddie. I'm the Chi-Town Barbie out here. Jalen Norton, claim your chick, man. Go on, post the pictures online, man. Go on, do the unveil, man. I should go say, if I get with a dude, he got to be taller than 6'7". He barely made it. Jalen Norton about 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But shout out. At number 3, man. My boy Travis Hunter out here going crazy. Crazy win.
And Shadur for that throw.
Yeah. The throw was crazy. The catch was crazy. The play in overtime, the causing the fumble in overtime literally at the goal line was insane. And I'm gonna throw this out here, man, about Travis Hunter. Is it out of the question that he plays both sides of the ball in the NFL? I'm not saying full time.
Oh no, because Deion did it.
But that's the thing, though, man. Okay, Deion was 99% cornerback.
Yeah,
cornerback.
But I mean,
but
I'm saying when he
did line up at receiver every now.
When he got to the Cowboys, he played there a little more. He played receiver a little. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't. Can't nobody do it full time both sides.
But we never seen anybody that's a receiver first, bro. Like I think Travis Hunter's best is at receiver, right? I think everybody.
I don't know because he was recruited as a cornerback, so it's kind of. I still don't know because defense. It's like you see him more offense because he gets the ball thrown to him. Defense, the quarterback might throw away from him. And you don't never see him, so it's kind of. That's why you really in football you legit got to look at like the all 22 film,
right?
That actually really break them down, but. From our standpoint, yes, receiver.
Draft him saying, I want him to be a wide receiver, right?
I think he'll want to be wide receiver because of money.
Right.
Teams wise, it probably depends on the team. I don't know. I would say probably wide receiver, but it's a lot of things that wide receiver that like route running, and it's a lot of things that you see from him from football head. It's like, yeah, he got quite a bit to work on, but he could work on it if he just lock in on one position.
Them dudes look like Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter. That team is not good. They'll probably finish close to being a bowl team or in the bowl or whatever. I think they'll be better I think they'll win more than 4 games, but they're not a good team. But those two dudes are so freaking fun to watch, bro. And when I say that, it literally looks like 2 dudes playing in the backyard. It looks like 2 cold dudes. Look like you playing, flag football, whatever, in the neighborhood. And the 2 coldest dudes, man, y'all can't get on the same team. Like, those dudes look cold as hell. They look so strange doing what they're doing, though, bro. Because their whole style just looks so untraditional. Like, they look wild that they're doing what they're doing, man. But shout out to those dudes. Like I said, that Colorado team is super fun to watch, even though they're terrible. they're fundamentally bad. Like, they're really bad at the stuff that they do. But they're super fun to watch. So shout out to...
Because before the Hail Mary, Shadur threw a perfect pass. The receiver dropped the pass that he could have scored a touchdown on.
And it's crazy because you got people who say idiots who are saying things. Right. You got people who are saying things like Shadur is not he's not even a D1 quarterback because he looks so wild, bro. His game looks like you're watching Jackson State playing against D1 teams, but they're good. They're better than that, of course. But yeah,
when you have a bad team and your offensive line is bad, it's gonna look like because you're running around out there.
Yeah, man, it just looks so like, what am I watching, bro? It just looks wild watching the news. But
it's crazy.
Go ahead.
It's crazy playing that well with that bad line. That lets you know that he's an NFL quarterback. Like,
it looks like when you're watching. You ever seen like that 9v9 stuff, 7-on-7? I mean, the 7-on-7.
Yeah, 7-on-7. I used to play that all the time.
League. It looks like that. Like it looks like they're just playing some other type of game. Yeah, man. But yeah, bro. But we got to take a break, man. When we come back, we're gonna wrap this thing up inside the same brain. We'll see you guys in a minute.
One of the defining factors of a good, well-coached defense is rallying to the ball, and it's something you hear from Pee Wee football all the way up until the NFL. And that's what this defense does. Their pursuit is really, really phenomenal. Having a centerpiece like Chandler Martin, who is just every week looks like he continues to get better. He's what makes this defense go, and everybody kind of rallies behind him.
12 TFLs against Florida State.
Yep.
4 sacks. Brother. Like, get the out of here. I said, bring some 5-man, 6-man, 7-man pressures. I didn't think they'd do it like that, dog. Yeah. You got to that 4th quarter and Jordan said, I have no respect for these guys.
No,
we're better than you.
And we're not scared.
He just brought 6-man pressure after 6-man pressure, then a 7-man pressure, then a simulated 8-man pressure. It's like this guy is a psychopath in the best possible way.
Tune into On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Each year, the last couple of years, we've had the question of who's going to take the biggest leap. And the one year, I think it was Santi, and everybody's like, Santi? I mean, that was when Jaren was out and Santi had to start.
Yep.
And we were like, Santi's going to start? Seriously? Who is it this year? Who's the player poised to take that big leap?
So I think if you would have asked before the injury, I thought Gigi would have been that guy because he would have been able to be him and do what he did with other really good players next to him.
Right.
I think the guy that is poised to take that step and needs to will be Jake LaRavia. I think he got a taste of what being more than just a shooter can be successful for him.
And he hustles a bit on defense.
Yes, and so I think he's ready to take another step, and he'll have the opportunity
Tune in to the Night Court podcast
and also
with
just
your
to get
hosts,
lost in
Rob
the rest
Fisher
in that
and Brevin
Houston
Knight,
team.
on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Sain Show. Time for Inside the Sain Brand. We'll talk about something that's on a brother's mind, bro. And today I'm talking about something that I do not want to have on my mind, Paris Sharkey. That is the Young Dolph trial is gone live. It's a little bit too live for me. It's a little bit too accessible, so to speak.
Too much
I
video.
don't know, man. I remember when the channel Court TV came out, right? And I was like, man, that's pretty dope. You can watch court trials because I've always been kind of enamored by court trials. I used to love when we would have mock trials at school. Like even right now today, if somebody have a mock trial, I would play. I would be in a mock trial club as an adult. You know what I mean? Being free, I like courtroom stuff, right? But this is just too much for me, man. I think it's because it's local. I think it's because it's on top of the Tyree Nichols stuff going on at the same time.
Yeah, same time.
And then it's like, this is Memphis, man. Like these names and individuals, like I've seen these people before. Like like there are certain individuals in this case that I've seen these people own the town. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, man. And it is a Memphian who loves the city and wants to see only the best for the city. It kind of depresses me. And I'm seeing people just kind of speaking out of anger, speaking out of emotion, speaking out of ignorance, and still trying to be investigators. And oh man, the stuff we were saying was true. And
yeah.
I guess. And then it's crazy because I'm not gonna say what the particular thing is. I'm not gonna touch much on this at all. But there are certain subjects where I've heard people say, well, now they can stop saying this. And I've heard some people on the same thing saying, well, okay, now we know that they weren't lying about this. So I'm like, damn. And it's like, I haven't watched any of it. Like, I haven't tuned in to watch any of it. I've watched a couple commentary videos of people talking about it and seen a couple of people's posts on Facebook. But it's just so much, bro. It is so much. And then on top of this Diddy stuff, which itself is crazy. You know what I mean? Which is it's just wild how it's like, bro, my thing is, how was this stuff going on for this long? And now everybody wants to talk about it. Why weren't you talking about it? People's lives were in danger. Like people being totally violated. Now everybody wants to talk about it. But this Young Dolph stuff, man, super sad. Just get reminded of somebody who lost their life too soon.
Exactly.
Here in Memphis, man. And over nothing. A bunch of nonsense, really, man. And you just hate that, you know, all parties involved couldn't figure this out because it seems like it's just going to get nastier, man. It's just going to get ugly. The names are being implemented.
It was just man.
Yeah. And
it's like, bringing back that stuff.
I'm not going to get into too many details about this because this happening in my city, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I live in the city where this is happening. So, like I said, I'm not going to name no names. So, plus, I don't really know. I haven't really seen this firsthand. Like, I've heard people talking about it, and I've seen a little commentary talking about it here and there. But like I said, it's a super sad situation, man. I'm just praying for the city, man. Just praying for all parties involved, honestly, man. It's just so sad how people are being, how this whole thing went down, you know? So, and I encourage anyone, if it gets to be too much for you, cut it off. That's why I'm not watching, because I know it's going to be too much.
How the hell both trials lined up to be at the same time? Like, come on now. Like, there was no way they couldn't separate this out.
And it's just a lot. It's just a lot, man. And I know that the city is really grieving, really stressing out right now. Like I said, if it's too much, don't cut it on, man. I know it's gonna be too much for me, so I'm not watching it. I'm not gonna knock anybody who does watch it. But I just can't do it. Kind of like the dinner in Blanc. I can't do it. Hope you had fun. Hope y'all had a good time. But yeah, that's it, man. From my man Perry Sharkey, from my man Damichael Cole came on, talked about this Derrick Rose thing, man. Derrick Rose. I hate the man. It's gone too soon, man. I wanted to see the man in the parade on Beale Street, but maybe he can do that in some other type of role. Damichael said he think that it might be something out there for him. We'll see. We hope.
Hopefully so. Yeah,
man.
So. Because it sounded like he didn't want to leave to Memphis. It sounded like he didn't want to leave the city. So
And Damichael said, he's still here, and he hadn't bought a house anywhere in the city he's been in. He hadn't bought a house other than here. His kids are in school here. Baby mama's here. We'll see. But yeah, man, we about to slide about this joint. We'll see you guys on Friday, man, for the Friday show. We about to slide about this joint, man, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.